Hello guys, I hope you're having a fantastic evening or morning or whatever time it is. But in any case, today I'm just doing a piece of digital artwork and I'm here to talk to you about some of the unique struggles of digital art that I've faced and how I've learned to kind of overcome them and the ways I haven't learned to overcome them. And in general, digital art has a lot of things that set it apart from the way I approach traditional art. And this is mainly because of the unlimited possibilities of the undo button. It's so much easier to be a perfectionist when you're doing a digital art piece than when you're doing a traditional piece, because when you're making a piece of traditional art, when you put down the lines, they're there forever, unless it's pencil. But you get my drift, right? You feel a lot more sense of permanency, and if you feel committed to a piece, even if you make a mistake, a lot of times you'll still see it through to the end. But with a piece of digital art, I have this problem, which is what I like to call undo button addiction, where I'll draw a line and I'll hit undo and I'll draw the line again and I'll hit undo and I'll draw the line again. And I just keep doing this and it's not productive. A lot of times the lines I'm making don't necessarily get better with each undo, but I get this tendency to feel like I can improve the piece forever. But that's not really true. You have to, be a bit efficient with your art making. You can't always aim for perfection. What are some of the ways that you can combat this digital perfectionism? Well, one of the things that has helped me is to remind myself not to rush. Because when I'm in the process of hitting undo, then redoing the line, then hitting undo, then redoing the line, I tend to kind of speed up with desperation until I'm just so frustrated that I'm going at light speed and my lines aren't actually getting better with each attempt anymore. So it's important to take a breath, slow down, and really aim for getting that line right in one go. And before you do your next attempt, if you're not happy with the first one, again, like take a breath, pause, and try to keep your control of the pen smooth. And another thing is, instead of the undo button, use the eraser or just use the color white with your brush and use that to edit the piece instead, because I tend to find that if you treat your digital canvas in the same way that you would treat a real canvas, in which you put layers of paint over each other to fix mistakes, that too can kind of help with this perfectionist streak, because instead of feeling like you're erasing the mistakes that are wrong, you feel more like you're building up towards the ideal piece, like it's more of a journey and not just a sinking ship. You know what I mean? Finally, is you have to combat perfectionism in the way that you combat perfectionism in every aspect of your life, which is to remind yourself that not every piece you make will be a masterpiece. And a lot of your digital work might suck at first because digital work takes a while to get used to. It's not necessarily an easy transition from physical pen and paper. So instead, what you should do is just maybe hold on to your digital work and keep it private so that you feel like you are allowed to make mistakes because nobody is going to see your drawings anyway, right? That's also been helpful to me. And honestly, a lot of you guys have been talking to me about why haven't I been making sketchbook videos lately? Um, and the answer is I have been still filling sketchbooks. The problem is I found myself putting so much pressure on myself to make those sketchbooks perfect because I had grown used to the expectation of uploading them on the internet, that I think it was really just limiting myself as an artist, and I didn't really feel relaxed and free in drawing in my sketchbook anymore. So while I will still be uploading some sketchbook videos, they might not be coming out with the same frequency as before. Okay, back to the topic of drawing digitally. Okay, a lot of people talk about, oh, what program should I use? In this video, I'm obviously using Photoshop, but I really think any digital drawing program is pretty good. There's Paint Tool Sci, there's Clip Paint Studio. Those are both really cheap options that I recommend. But for the most part, that's really not what is going to decide the quality of your digital work. That's just something that will come with practice. Another problem that tends to arise with digital work is because of the possibility of zooming in an unlimited amount of time on the canvas, it's really tempting to just zoom in on every detail you're working on. And I'm telling you right now, please, please don't do that, because here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna spend an hour perfecting one eyeball. And then you're gonna zoom out and realize that that eyeball is like totally skewed, not in proportion, and doesn't fit the rest of the piece at all. Like, this has happened to me so many times, so I'm here to warn you ahead of time, like, make sure you can kind of see the canvas as a whole, because that's gonna really help you make sure that your composition makes sense and that everything is fitting together properly. We get used to the privilege of when you have a physical piece of paper, you know how big the piece is. You know what your frame is. So again, when you're choosing the canvas size of a digital piece, think about that too. Try to think of it in the way that you would think of a physical piece of paper, and try to restrict yourself to making a composition that fits that space. Because another thing that happened to me is I started relying too much on essentially cropping my picture to make the composition after I'm already done with the piece. And while that's totally okay, it's not really good in terms of just training your ability to set up a composition beforehand. But the final thing is just enjoy the unlimited possibilities that a drawing program can offer you. Because a lot of us can't afford to buy, new gouache paints or new canvases or new brushes. But with a digital canvas, you have access to all these different textures and colors that maybe you never would be able to use in real life. So have fun with that. Like, that's actually incredible, isn't it? And at least I think so anyway. And I think you are all incredible, and thank you so much for listening to me ramble about digital painting. I hope at least something I said mattered to you or helped you in some way, and I will see you later. Please let me know down in the comments if you would like to see another video like this again, or tell me if you hated it. I won't be offended, I swear. Just let me know what you think. See you!